in today's video, I will talk about an index because I really like economic indicators and I want to share one of my favorite indices with you that I think could be interesting at all times when you are trading. And in this video series, I will share a bunch of these indicators that in my opinion can be interesting and can be useful for your trading during during any time basically, but during a crisis and irregular time, or like the coronavirus, because it is a time that that only happened before the internet and stuff in a global way before. So let's start the video. I will talk about the buttered popcorn index. What is the buttered popcorn index, you might ask? But don't ask. You watch this video because you want to know it. And so it is basically an index that can help you to identify a crisis or an end of a recession, or just start end of a recession, and it can be really interesting in my opinion to take a look at. And you know that the conventional economic wisdom tells that during a recession, all major, like real estate, retail sales are just suffer so much because people don't want to spend money on unnecessary things because their entire livelihood is in uncertainty. And when there is a huge amount of uncertainty in the world around you, you tend to really focus on the things, and you are right, because it is a human instinct that you should survive. You want to survive, and you want your family to survive. So you don't spend. People don't spend that much money on unnecessary things or major investments, and overall, the non-essential commodity market is always last in a huge decline in a crisis because you spend money when your job and the economy around you and all the economic factors are in a good, just in a good health. Because if the economy is not healthy, even if you have a great job now, people see the signs. People are not so dumb, they see the signs, and they won't spend as much money on just non-essential commodities. And only one commodity, and this will be the interesting part, there's only one commodity that is always just crushing it when there is a crisis and a recession. And there is historical data that this is the movies, the cinema, and it is so interesting. You might ask why the hell people go to a cinema when there is a recession and you barely can spend money on bread and butter and stuff. Why you buy buttered popcorn instead? And it is because a really simple reason, and the reason is that people want to be happy. People want to see a world where they want to live, a world you want to live in, and you don't want to just, because if there is a recession, a huge recession, depression is unavoidable, of course, but you want to stay as sane as possible to survive. And actually, this is a psychology. It is a basic psychology that you want to go and see movies that show a different world because you want to escape from reality. And this is why people are going to the cinema so much when there is a recession, actually. And this is why when every other non-essential commodity and everything basically is just in a huge decline. The movies are crushing it. This is because people want to escape from reality, and the data shows that the National Association of Theatre revealed the data that during the 2008 recession and in 2009 and the years after that, and during that recession, the sales of cinema tickets and the overall industry was in a huge just in a it wasn't in a recession at all. It was plus 10% overall, and that is just huge if you know the numbers and the fluctuation of these markets. And the other big recessions, when there was already, you know, a cinema theater, the tickets sales were always up by multiple percents and 2-digit percent. So it is really interesting, and it shows that you can't just solely look at the technical parameters, and you can look at the technical parameters and optimize everything to that. But when there is a really big crisis, of course, if you optimize the technical parameters well, they will recognize this without even knowing about these indicators and these psychology patterns. But it is, if you're a manual trader, it is just beneficial if you take a look at these indicators, because it is from a mathematical point of view not logical, but human psychology and the just the human mind that wants to be in a world that is good and that is just developing to the right direction. It wants to feel good. And so it is illogical that you go to the cinema so much when there is a recession and you can't buy bread. But actually, it always happens because you want to see a beautiful world that has no war, no war, no recession, no bad things in it, and just some light-hearted fun or some heroic. The superhero movies are doing really great at those times, and all the comedy movies, because just want to forget for a little time, and you want hope that everything will be fine. So it is, in my opinion, interesting. It would be interesting to take a look at the buttered popcorn index once a while, especially in a situation where there's a recession going on. Of course, Corona is a bit different because mostly you are forced to stay inside. So going to the cinema is a bit different, and but of course you can apply it, but with different parameters to this situation as well. And because anyway, cinema is shifting towards, Netflix subscriptions and stuff, so it can be applied to just with different parameters to the modern world. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, it's really important. Ciao.